Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Basketball Conference, the ACC Football Podcast. My name is Joey Weaver. I'm a Georgia Tech grad. He is Mike McDaniel. He's a Virginia Tech grad. Mike, it's hate week, week 7. How you doing? You ready to talk about the Techmo Bowl, among others?
I won't spoil my pick yet.
Don't have to. We got all night.
Yeah. We got some time.
Something like that. Producer Scott in the house. Scott, how are you?
I'm good. Sorry.
There he is.
My board was messing with me. Well, I'm doing well. Sorry about last week's preview and recap. So preview, my son had the croup. If those who don't have kids don't know what a croup cough is, had to run off and make sure he felt better. Woke up in the rocker about 3 a.m. with the YouTube playing of the replay of the podcast. But I hope you all caught the audio version, what I edited myself in. Thank for the cue in, Joey, on that one. And for the recap, definitely fell asleep when I was trying to stay awake. So that was on me. I said, I'm going to lay my head down here for 2 minutes, and then I woke up and the show was over. So, yeah.
No excuses. Play like a champion.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Rule number 76.
I just want to say, though, I am impressed. That was a pro move putting this podcast on to put the kid to sleep, because that's this podcast really does a good job of putting people to sleep, I've found.
It was on one volume sitting on my shoulder as I was holding him. So, like, he couldn't hear it really, but I could hear it. You know?
There you go.
The sweet sounds of Joey and I.
Yeah.
Sweet, sultry tones.
Something like that.
We are live, youtube.com/@the ACC Football Podcast. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon if you have not already. You'll be notified when we're going to go live. Hit that like button. We would appreciate that. Alexis Solaris following Scott's lead. Re-listen to the pod after listening to the live show just to catch your picks. Everyone's here for Producer Scott. Sickos pick of the week, producer's pick of the week. Yeah, you're muted, Scott. And it's gone. All right.
Sorry.
There he is.
There you go.
Okay.
Hot start.
The soundboard and the button, they're lying to me, so we're in shambles right now. But the picks were bad, so I hope you didn't have to listen to them. They both lost.
No, you're good. You're good. None of our picks have been good this season, which we will get to in a minute. Yeah, we're live, youtube.com/@the ACC Football Podcast. It is a few minutes after 11 o'clock on the East Coast, Wednesday, October the 8th. We are off to a hot start, as people can tell. We are completely on time, as everybody knew that we would be. But it is a big week. It is hate week. We've got the Techmo Bowl. We're going to play to see, once again, who is the real Tech for the next year on this podcast. Before we get into that, Mike, I was going to jump into a Rhoback rapid recap, if you're okay with that.
Let's do it.
A Rhoback look back at week 6.
It's all the same,
as it were. Yeah, it's all, who knows. Once again, go to Rhoback.com. Use promo code GOACC20 for 20% off your first order for all sorts of wonderful polos and athleisure wear and hoodies and T-shirts and shorts and pants, and they got all sorts of things there. And it's all high quality. It feels fantastic. Looks fantastic. The game day collection, highly recommended. Go check them out there. Once again, Rhoback.com. Promo code GOACC20 at checkout. Rhoback
right
look
now.
back. Yeah.
Hey.
Looks comfy.
This is my work attire today, so we're getting into that cooler weather, that Q-zip season. All I wear from about November until May-ish, April-ish is Q-zips. Many of the Rhoback varieties. So use the code, go buy them. Here we go. Look back.
You said something about cooler weather. I'm not familiar. It was like 93 here today. So
you live in Satan's vagina. So
something like that. Certainly a hellhole, I would say. Anyways, Rhoback look back at week 6. Really, we've got a couple things I wanted to talk about here, but the first one is somewhat related to some of the stuff that we talked about in week 6. One of the things that really came up was that Virginia, I felt like, got lucky to win against Louisville. And we mentioned the post-game win expectancy from SP Plus and Bill Connolly was a little over 10%, I think. One of the other things I wanted to mention was just because generally like lucky teams and unlucky teams because the ACC has some fairly extreme lucky teams and unlucky teams so far this year, Mike. I've listed this in the document, and I listed it just by ranking because I want to see if you can guess the ACC. So, and this is, if you look at this, this is second order wins. So basically, when SP Plus goes and looks at a game stats and does a post game win expectancy and says, "Oh, you should have won that game 95% of the time," you start adding up all those percentages, and for instance, in that case, you would get 0.95 wins. And so you add up those wins, and you can say, "Oh, this team should be, 4.8 and 1.2, and actually they're 5 and 1." And so that's, they're just slightly unlucky, basically. But at the extremes, you get some bigger disparities. The ACC, Mike, actually has the number one luckiest team in the country right now per SP Plus's post-game win expectancies and second order wins. Can you guess who the number one luckiest team is at 1.48 wins above expected?
The Jackets.
Incorrect. I'll give you a hint. I was just
Virginia's
talking about them.
awesome.
Would it be Virginia?
The Virginia Cavaliers at 1.48 wins above expected. They're projected right now 3.52 wins. They've actually won 5 games. That leads the country in difference there.
That Louisville
the
game.
ACC also has. The ACC also has the number 2 luckiest team. And Mike, you just said it.
The Jackets?
That would be the Jackets, because they got lucky in that win over Clemson. They got lucky in their win against Wake Forest. 1.45 wins over expected. And just for good measure, the ACC also has the number 10 luckiest team in the country. Speaking of wins over Clemson.
Syracuse at 0.84 wins above expected. They are expected 2.16, and they have 3 so far on the year. That surprised you with how they've looked the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, and obviously there's a little bit of context there the last couple of weeks, but they got a little bit lucky. Basically, they won a toss-up game against Connecticut. They won basically a toss-up game against Clemson as well. So basically, SP Plus says that they should have split those games, and they won them both. So that's where the lucky piece of it comes in. But on the other hand, Mike, the ACC also has the number 3 least lucky team this year, or the number 3 most unlucky team in the country.
Florida State?
No.
Not even after that Virginia loss?
No, not after the Virginia loss. I think they're kind of somewhere in the middle. They're actually doing okay relative to projections. The Boston College Eagles, currently projected for 2.51 wins. They have 1 because they probably should have won that Michigan State game. They had a 26% chance of beating Stanford based on the stats. They had a 50% chance basically of beating Cal based on the stats. And they didn't get wins in any of those games. So that is an unlucky situation right now. Number 5 nationally is also in the ACC, a team that we've now mentioned twice in this segment.
Clemson?
The Clemson Tigers, 3.23 expected wins. They've got 2 on the season, so they are 1.23 below. And then finally, the number 8 unlucky team nationally. Can I sell you on the Pitt Panthers? 0.94 wins below expected.
Because of what? The West Virginia game?
The West Virginia game. Well, that was a 38.4% win chance. 55.5% against Louisville. So again, they probably should have gotten one of those. They got neither of them. So that's unlucky. But the games that they've won have all been 100% win probabilities. So that kind of helps to buoy that number as well. So just wanted to bring it up that, we talk about teams that are lucky. The stats back this up sometimes. And teams that are lucky or unlucky, the record doesn't tell us everything, basically. Just because a team hasn't lost doesn't mean that they're incredible necessarily.
Yeah. That's fair.
Anyways. Yeah. So just wanted to bring that up. And that might come up later in the show, by the way. So keep tuned here. Can we go to Chapel Hill real quick?
Only if we must.
I want to go there. Yeah, I think everything is just going great. They've got a Hulu documentary. Maybe not anymore.
Canceled.
I don't know necessarily that I buy all of these third and fourth party report. Cheeks Hill's very funny. Third and fourth party reports from reporters I haven't heard of saying that he's going to like get fired right now and that he's going to accept a buyout right now. Who are these people? Like I've never heard of any.
Mike, he doesn't have to accept a buyout. He can pay $1 million to not coach there. He doesn't have to accept a buyout. He could buy himself out.
Wouldn't that defeat the whole purpose of like what he's?
He already got $10 million from him. What's like, $1 million back?
What's the point? Like, what's the point? Isn't the whole point that he wanted to coach? I thought that was the point. Is that not the point?
You wish that was the point for a 70-plus-year-old man who's washed up. You wish that was the point.
I don't know if he wanted to coach for the love of coaching. I think he wanted a coach to validate his own ego and
stick it to the NFL.
Like rebuild his reputation or what. He got passed over for the Falcons job. He got fired from the Patriots. He's got all these Super Bowl rings. He's been told he's the greatest coach of all time and all this stuff. And now he's had this like really unceremonious end to his career. It's like, no, I go out on my own terms. Look, I can do this at the college level. Turns out you might not be able to.
Yeah. They weren't supposed to be good this year, but this is like getting to the point where it's almost like the off the field stuff is turning into more of a story than the on the field stuff, which hasn't been good. And the on the field stuff isn't even like that big of a surprise. Like this roster wasn't good, right? They had like an easy schedule. It's going worse than we thought, I think, but this isn't like a huge surprise that the team's bad to me. Right. Like I thought they could maybe make a bowl game because their schedule on paper is so bad. I was like, but they're like worse than their schedule. So
yeah,
this could end up being like 3-9, 2-10. Pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, and it's just, it's all of the off-field antics. There's stories coming out of the locker room of players, it's a toxic culture and Steve Belichick barely talks to his players. And you're running the full gamut of this place looks like it's imploding right now.
Yeah.
There was a story, I think one of his assistant coaches supposedly was suspended for some potential illegal benefits being provided to recruits that were coming to visit, which are we still doing recruiting violations in 2025? I guess so. And UNC has found a way to commit them.
Yeah.
They've got players apparently trying to sell their tickets that they're being allotted, which is not allowed. And there was a memo that was sent to the players that came out and broke containment. That's not great. The whole thing is just such a ridiculous public embarrassment for the administration. In a way, I'll be surprised if they don't, if nobody steps up and just like pulls the plug on this and says, this is just an absolute calamity. Like you got to get this guy out of here and just flush the whole thing.
Yeah. It's definitely going worse than I thought.
Yeah.
1,000%. Yes, they are. They are the worst 2-3 team in the country. They have now scored like 1,000,000-10 against P4 opponents and haven't looked too impressive against the non P4 ones. So yeah.
Who was the was it Skip Bayless that had the tweet from the TCU game where UNC gets the ball, goes down and scores in the first drive and tweets out that they've got a national championship level offense?
Yeah.
Have you ever had a tweet that aged that poorly, Mike?
I don't know. The only other one I can think of is the Paul Feinbaum Arch Manning tweet comparing him to Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
He's having trouble completing forward passes.
Yeah. So North Carolina on a bye week this week. I don't think it really gets a whole lot better. Honestly, if you're going to make a change, you probably need to be making it now before you go play next week at Cal on Friday night. But in any case, we will see. That seems like an actively developing story today.
Yeah. Do you guys think he coaches the Cal game?
Yeah.
I do too.
I think so.
I think a lot of these reports are kind of bullshit, to be honest. Now, at the end of the year, the WRIL one I think is legit, but these other ones are like, oh, he's gonna pay him back $1 million, and I'm like, no, he's not. Like, this is Wait a minute, the guy with the giant ego that's like sinking his like tenure at North Carolina before it even starts is going to pay $1 million to get out of it? No shot.
Well, and the discussion was, well, if he can find a soft place to land, it was like another team or, an NFL team or whatever. And it's like, who's bringing this guy and this whole circus around him into the building right now?
Yeah.
The NFL doesn't try to hire defensive assistants in week 5 or whatever the hell what do we think is going to happen? Nothing makes sense. So I think they're stuck with him. They're going to have to pay up a little bit to get rid of him if they do. But we'll see how long it lasts.
Yeah,
we'll see. Put it this way: does he coach the NC State game Thanksgiving weekend?
Nope.
No.
I'm leaning towards no.
Yeah.
I think at some point between now and then we'll be done. We shall see. Last thing on the look back, just wanted to call this out. There was another story that came out today that I think it was today. Was it yesterday? I forget. But Stanford got a massive monetary gift for their football program. And I just wanted to call that out because we heard about this with Virginia going into the offseason, that they got a big gift that they were able to use to upgrade their roster. We've talked on this show about Virginia Tech making an increased commitment. Now, that's not really a gift, but it is agreeing to increase spending around the football program. And now Stanford, we talked about them as like a school where the NIL money could vary, NIL money or the house settlement kind of payments, whatever that they're doing, could very reasonably be split across football as well as a lot of other sports, especially with all the prominence of the Olympic sports at Stanford. But this is a $50 million gift for their football program, which seems like a big deal. And seems like something that could be a game changer for them and the fortunes of that program. As if the administration is not hell-bent on supporting that program and doing everything that they can to build that program up, well, you got someone else who's willing to step up and donate $50 million. That makes a difference.
It does, especially when you're about to do a coaching search, right? I mean, saw Virginia Tech just do the same thing, and they're in the same conference now. Remember, they're in the same conference. Yeah, so they'll certainly be competing for the same coach. I mean, they probably won't be. Two different coasts, but I mean, this is a smart thing to do if you're opening a coaching search.
Yeah, well, and I hadn't even thought about it that way. I thought about just roster construction and going to get some players, but having the commitment is a good look as you're about to go try to hire someone to come commit to your program for a few years as a coach. So good stuff for Stanford. Anything else news-wise for the Rhoback look back?
Nah, I think we're good. We get into like the 5 games, like 2 of them are good.
Well, before we do that, we got to take a look at last week's locks.
I don't want to.
I guess we'll start with me. I was the one who had a correct lock last week. I went 1-1 on the week. I had Clemson minus the 14.5 against North Carolina, and I had Wake Forest, Virginia Tech under 50.5. 1-1 on the week. I'm 6-7 on the year. Mike, you had Virginia, Louisville over 62.5. And Wake Forest, Virginia Tech under 50.5. You were 0-2 on the week.
Good stuff.
Producer Scott. Yeah, 6-10 on the year for locks for Mike. The Stanford team totals, really looked good there off the start, but Producer Scott, producer's pick of the week, Boston College plus the 6.5.
Bang, you're dead.
You know what? I'll be generous. I'll give you 16.5, 26.5, 36.5. Yeah, still wasn't enough.
Thanks.
Producer's pick of the week is 2-4 on the year. All of us under 500.
Producer sucks ass.
Look, the people watching the show know the picks are to be faded, not to be tanked.
Yeah.
All right, we good to flush week 6 and move on?
Please.
I think so.
Let's do it. Week 7. Hey.
Please.
Oh, on a loop.
Careful,
Even?
don't put that on a loop. Yeah.
Jeez.
No. I just hit it twice because please move on.
It sounded like you hit it twice.
Oh, I'm hitting it twice. All right.
Yeah.
Week 7, we got 6 games to talk about. We got 10 ACC teams in action. We have Miami, North Carolina, Duke, Cal, Louisville, Syracuse, and Virginia all on bye weeks this week. It is the second bye for Louisville, North Carolina, and Miami, meaning they will now play out the entire rest of their schedule without a bye week, which, 6 games in a row or whatever is not like that bad, but if you got 2 bye weeks available to you, you'd rather be able to split them up a little better than that.
Yeah.
Duke, by the way, on the front of what I'll call a bye week sandwich, they're on a bye this week. They play Georgia Tech next week, and they got a bye after that. Miami and North Carolina on the back half of their bye week sandwiches, as North Carolina was on a bye, played Clemson, and now is on another bye. And Miami, same thing with Florida State. So love some schedule quirks here with the ACC, but all of those teams on a bye and probably can use it in one way or another. But we got 4 conference games, 2 out of conference. Y'all ready to get into it?
Let's do it.
Well, we've been a lot of times on this show. All the games are on Saturday, October the 11th. Didn't update my sheet. Fantastic. We've been doing a lot of these in chronological order, but as people who have watched this show for a while will know, it is tradition around here for Techmo Bowl week that we will start there at 3:30 on the ACC network. Producer Scott cooking.
Nice addition, Scott. What a surprise that was.
Well done. Virginia Tech on the road in Atlanta, taking on the number 13 Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Georgia Tech, a 14.5-point home favorite here. Total is 54.5. Virginia Tech, by the way, leads this series all time 12-8 and has won 3 out of 4 since Paul Johnson's retirement. They won this game last year, 21-6. And I don't really know what happened at the end of that game. I know that there was some injury stuff with Kyron Drones that kind of came out from practice right after that. And that was kind of the last hurrah for Virginia Tech last year for a lot of intents and purposes, but they did get the win last year. Mike, Hokies on the road, got a win on the road a couple weeks ago, trying to bounce back off of a loss last week. What do you think?
I think Georgia Tech wins. They're the better team. They're at home. This is also the game that Georgia Tech really likes to lose, right? So 14.5 seems like a lot of points. Virginia Tech's done a pretty good job last couple of weeks of slowing down the run. So I'd be interested to see how Georgia Tech throws the ball against Virginia Tech secondary, which has been pretty good this year. So that's the most intriguing part of the game for me. I'm interested to see if Virginia Tech can run the ball against Georgia Tech. The best part of Virginia Tech's offense that hasn't been very good has been the running game. Kyron Drones can't really throw it. So if Georgia Tech slows that down and gets after Virginia Tech's very bad offensive line and pass protection, I think they're going to do a pretty good job and have a pretty easy road to covering. Mm-hmm. But if Virginia Tech's able to throw the ball even a little bit, I think they can make this competitive. I think that Georgia Tech wins this game. I think that Virginia Tech covers the 14.5. I don't think Virginia Tech ever really has a shot to actually win this game or threaten to win the game, but I think they'll keep it within 14.5. It'll be semi-competitive all the way through. I don't expect a blowout here. I think Hokies can keep it close. I think they have the talent to keep it close. I think this is hasn't really been a talent issue. This is probably one of the more talented teams Georgia Tech's played so far, but they're not. I think Montgomery has a better coach than Pry, obviously, but Virginia Tech's gotten themselves into a lot of trouble with penalties and turnovers, and they're doing stuff that bad teams do, which is why they're at where they're at, 2-4 with an interim coach. So if that version of Virginia Tech shows up, I think Georgia Tech can absolutely cover. But if the version shows up that we saw a couple weeks ago against NC State, I think Hokies can make it a little competitive here at least and hang around for a while. But yeah, give me Virginia Tech to cover. Georgia Tech wins by like 10 to 13 points. Hokies never really threaten, but Georgia Tech never really pulls away.
Yeah. So Georgia Tech needs to win this game by 15 points to cover. They have played 3 Power 4 teams so far this year. They have beaten them all. Do you know the grand total of margin they've won those 3 games by?
Let's see.
It'd be 11 points, Mike.
Yeah, I was going to say barely beat Colorado, beat Wake by a point, and who's the other one?
They beat Clemson by 3.
Of course, Clemson. Of course. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've won 3 games by 11 points total, basically, against Power 4 competition. And now I'm expected to cover 14.5. I hope you do. That'd be great, but I won't be picking that. So give me the Hokies and the points. This is an important game, I think, for Georgia Tech coming off the bye week. They looked pretty sluggish in the first half, especially that Wake game a couple of weeks ago. I wondered a little bit if there was some fatigue there going on or exactly what it was. So it's like I need to see them come out and play with some energy, hopefully get a little bit healthier. We'll have to see. But I think this is an important game for what they look like the rest of the year. Because if I'm being honest, for a 5-0 team and a top 15 ranking, I haven't been particularly impressed with the way that they've played for a lot of this year. Defensively, especially, I think has been, maybe the strategy has been, give up yards in between the 20s and then try to win in the red zone kind of thing. But I don't think that this team has played like a team that, is a top 15 caliber program in the country right now. So Virginia Tech has a pretty reasonably spicy defense, I would say. They play pretty well. You said you need to see, can Virginia Tech run the ball? Kind of don't see why not.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech hasn't done a great job of hadn't done a great job of stopping that for a lot of this year. So I don't know. I hope that this is where you see Georgia Tech take a step and, start to play at a step above what they've been doing so far this year. But I got to see it first. So give me the Hokies with the points. I do think Georgia Tech wins, but I think it might be a little bit uncomfortably close.
Yep. With you.
Yep. Total 54.5. I'm going to lean under on that.
2 teams that are better at running than throwing. I always lean under.
Yeah. Yeah. Leaning under there. You want to lock anything up here?
I will pass only because I think there's some variability, especially on the Virginia Tech side with like turnovers and stuff like that. And Georgia Tech's defense being a little up and down. I think I'm going to stay away from this one.
Yeah. I am tempted on the Hokies. Let's see how the night is young, Mike. Let's see where everything takes us. But I might come back and lock up the Hokies catching 14.5 here. We will see. Good to move on?
Good.
Well, because time, we got to remind the people, if you need something to wear to this game, section103.com, baby. That's always the place to go. Use promo code GOACC at checkout for 10% off your first order. All sorts of great t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, hats, onesies, things for men, women, children, babies, something for the whole family. Get it all at section103.com. They've got the official Tech Gold, all the official word marks, all officially licensed. Highly recommended. It's great quality. It looks great. I love mine. Wearing it right now. Mike, you even love yours.
I do.
Wearing your Bobby Dodd Stadium is my happy place shirt on Saturday watching this
game. Wore it to bed last night.
There you go. There you go. Go get it all, section103.com. Use promo code GOACC at checkout for 10% off your first order. Thanks to Steven and the gang. Appreciate their support. Shout out to them. They launched another school this week, Mike. They launched Kennesaw State. They got 4 now in the portfolio.
Spicy.
Having a big fall is section103.com. They got the new homecoming shirt. They got a new welcome to the flats shirt. Go find it all. Section 103.
Big fall Saturday.
Hell yeah. All right. Let's do the rest of these in chronological order. Noon on ESPN. The Pitt Panthers on the road in Tallahassee taking on the number 25 Florida State Seminoles. Florida State, a 10.5 point favorite here. Totals 57.5. This line is a little bit low to me in a sense of just looking at the names and the rankings and everything, but Pitt looked really good last week. I worry about Miami beating Florida State twice here. Is that a valid concern here, Mike?
I worry about overcorrection the other way to a freshman quarterback looking really good for Pitt. That's kind of what I worry about.
Yeah, that's true.
This is a Florida State defense that I think is probably a little bit better than it showed, especially in the first half last week. I thought they were better in the second half against Miami. I know Miami jumped out to a big lead and Florida State came back, but I thought the defense in general for Florida State played better in the second half, made some adjustments and hung in there. Miami's just got a really, really talented team. I question whether or not we're going to see another really, really good game from this Pitt offense. It's been so up and down this year. I don't know, man. I do have some concerns about this with Heinzel. Is that Heinzel? I don't know. Are we absolutely sure he's just going to like walk in on the road and just like have another day? It would be really impressive. But that seems like a really tall task relative to a week ago to me. This is a much better team.
Defense.
Much better defense. I don't really see it. I think the concern is legitimate about Florida State, like having Miami beat them twice, but that game was kind of out of reach, right? Until the fourth quarter. And then Florida State kind of came storming back. So I don't think this is a situation where it's like Florida State lost a heartbreaker and now they got to like get themselves back up off the mat. Now they got beat last week by a really good team in a rivalry game. They got beat, like flat out beat. I think they'll come out, try to ride the momentum, especially in the fourth quarter last week, and try to get themselves like back into the mix, get some momentum going and play a better game Saturday. I'm on Florida State here. I think they win. I think they cover. This feels like a 14 to 17 point game for me. Not going to cover because I like at least one spread, maybe two, a little bit better. So we'll see. But yeah, I think Florida State wins here and covers in this spot.
The one thing that so if we assume that Florida State doesn't have a big letdown and we assume that Pitt maybe is roughly what we saw last week in terms of quality, if we just throw all the context out, just a pure matchup standpoint.
Yep.
I wonder about Florida State's offense against this Pitt defense, because Pitt's defense currently leads the conference in yards per carry allowed, under 2 yards a carry on the season. And some of that probably level of competition related, but at the end of the day, a Pat Narduzzi defense has always been good at stopping the run. And that's what Florida State wants to do more than anything, is run the ball. And some of it's a little bit of this 3-card Monty, option Malzahn offense, but it's still the run game, and Pitt's going to be aggressive, and they're going to try to force Thomas Castellanos to beat him with his arm. And I'm not going to say that he can't do that. Like, he certainly could, and he's had some really good throws at times this year. But this is a pretty big margin, I think. And there's a lot of things to factor in here. I'm going to take Pitt in the points. I think that they can at least keep this close. Would you be shocked if Pitt won this game on the field?
I'd be a little surprised. I wouldn't be shocked though.
I'll go with a little surprised. Yeah.
I'd be a little surprised only because it would be like a freshman quarterback that now the narrative would be, should he have been starting from the start of the year, right? Because if Pitt goes on and upsets Florida State, it's probably because Heinzel played well again. And it's like, wow, why were we starting Holstein this whole time? Instead of 4-2, you could have been 5-1, 6-0.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it surprised me.
Nuke Jacket, by the way, this is a good stat. I saw this as well, I think somewhere on Twitter, is that in Florida State's first 110 games in the ACC back in the 90s, 101-9. In their last 10 games, dating back to last year, they're 1-9. So, sometimes things change.
Yeah. I mean,
so
I like the stat. It sounds really bad, but they were like historically ass last year. That's counting for most of it. You know what I mean?
They completely quit.
They completely quit. They've lost to 2 good teams this year. One good team, I think, in Virginia, and then a national championship contender in Miami. So, let's see how this plays out. It is a fun stat, though.
Well, and as we said on the recap, it's like the losses that they have, very good chance that they age well enough to where if Florida State wins out and goes 10-2, they could very reasonably get an at-large bid into the playoff.
Yeah,
because they would also have a win over Alabama and they would have a win over Florida in that case. So lots to play for here for the Noles. Right. I just worry about, both Florida State and Miami have historically had the lose that game hangover afterwards kind of situation. And so between some of the recent record stuff, between some of the matchup stuff, I'm going to take Pitt to cover and keep it close. Like I said, be a little bit surprised if Pitt won, but not that surprised.
No.
I don't think that's too crazy to think about. Yeah.
It's the ACC. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take Pitt to cover. You've got Florida State to cover, Mike, here. Give me over 57.5, which really just is the opposite of what I just picked. I feel like taking Pitt, but
I was going to say, I like the over a lot, taking Florida State. I feel like it has to be a little lower scoring for Pitt. Maybe not, though.
Yeah. We will see. All right. Pitt for me, Florida State for Mike, over for both of us. No locks yet. We move on.
Yep.
Also at noon, this one on the CW
doubleheader.
This week is it the Cheeks W?
I mean, we have Stanford and a twofer later in the day that includes both Oregon State and Wake Forest. So
this is the front end of a CW doubleheader for the record. And if we're going to talk this much about the CW, we have to go to our guy Lee Nobody, who brings up the stats this year that our favorite South Korean baseball team is doing quite well, Mike, actually. CW underdogs, 4 out of 7 outright and 5 of 7 against the spread so far this year. Stanford on the road in Dallas taking on the SMU Mustangs. Ponies, an 18.5-point home favorite, totals 55.5. This is at noon on the CW, as mentioned. Is Stanford figuring it out a little bit? I kind of feel like they might be. Ben Goldbranson throwing for almost 450 yards has me a little bit shook, Mike.
Yeah, I'm done betting Stanford team totals. I'll tell you that. That was a principal bet until it wasn't. So we're done doing that. I like Stanford here. I know you're going to Dallas. It's a road game. SMU looked good last week. All that good stuff. SMU should win this game pretty comfortably. This has backdoor cover potential, though.
It does.
18 and a half's that's a weird number. Like, how many spreads have we seen this year that's like 18 and a half? That's a weird one.
Yeah. A little bit in between, like 17 and a half, 20 and a half, pick one. But
yeah.
Implied score here would be, what is that, like 23-9, like 31-14, 31-13 ish, something like that.
That'd be 44.
36-19. No, 30. I don't know. It's late. Anyways,
good math. Well, that was good.
Yeah,
glad we did that.
Yeah, I was gonna say everyone's better for having listened to me fumble through my own head of numbers.
Stink, stank, stunk.
It's good information for everybody. Thank you, Scott, for that. That was perfect timing.
This is why it's important for Scott to not fall asleep, is to be able to make fun of me.
That's mostly it. That was good. We're all better for hearing those statistics from Joey. Give me Stanford. I'm going to take the Cardinal. I don't think they threaten a win. I don't know. Bet this has backdoor cover potential. Ironically, I could see 31-14 here. That's a cover.
I mean, yeah.
I do lean under, by the way.
I really don't know what to do with Stanford right now.
Just like you don't know what to do with the math.
Definitely that way. Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of points. Yeah, let's just take Stanford to cover. Why not?
Yeah.
Obviously not a strong feeling there. You said under, Mike?
Yeah.
They leaned under.
Under.
Lean for me.
I'm going to take the over. I don't like playing unders in SMU games, for the record.
Good offense.
Yeah, I think they're going to try to get a little pointsy with it. And Stanford, again, kind of coming to life. They scored 20 points against Virginia. They scored 30 against Boston College, 30 against San Jose. Like, might be able to figure something out. So Stanford in the over for me, Stanford in the under for Mike. Got to roll with the CW underdogs, baby.
Baby.
Anything else on this one?
Can we preview the other CW 3:30 game before we do the other 3:30 Peacock game?
We can, but first, moment of honesty.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to watch Stanford SMU on the CW at noon?
No. You?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not, if we're all being honest with each other.
I'll give it the old college try for you guys.
There you go.
It's got quad box potential.
Yeah.
I won't be like intently watching.
Pretty sure I'm going to the pumpkin patch with my child, but I'll give it a try.
There you go.
There you go.
Pull it up on the phone.
Nope.
Don't pay attention to the pumpkin patch. Pay attention to Stanford SMU on the CW.
I'd much rather enjoy the pumpkin patch.
Fair enough. Well, make sure you're back in time for the second half of the CW doubleheader. Surprisingly difficult to say. At 3:30 on the CW, we have the Wake Forest Steamin' Deeks all the way in Corvallis, Oregon, taking on the Oregon State Beavers. Wake a 2.5-point favorite all the way across the country here. Total is 50.5.
How bad is Wake?
I mean, yeah, Oregon State 0-4 and looking
Joey,
every bit of it.
Have you? Yeah, I was gonna say, have you seen any Oregon State this year? They're 0-6, by the way, not 0-4, and they are horrible. They are horrible.
Okay, yeah.
I've seen a couple of their games. They are horrible.
Yeah. They got obliterated by Cal. They're in week 1. JKS had a nice little coming out party against them. They lost to Fresno. They got obliterated by Texas Tech. They got obliterated by Oregon. They should have beaten Houston and then completely collapsed in the fourth quarter of that game. I think Houston scored 2 touchdowns in the final 5 minutes to send it to overtime and ended up winning that on a Friday night there a few weeks ago. And then they went to Boone, North Carolina, and played App State last week and lost 27-23. Yeah. That is not your older brother's App State program either, by the way. So things not going well in Corvallis.
Joey, real quick, the athletic director had to write a statement saying, "Hey, I'm really sorry about how the team's performing, but we're in full support of Trent Bray, the head coach, to get this thing turned around. Go Beavs."
Which means they're not, and they're gonna fire him. So that's cool.
Things you love to see in like week 6.
Yeah, we haven't seen any of those from Bubba Cunningham yet. Ironically, that's weird, huh?
Oh no, there was one this afternoon.
Oh, was there? I missed that.
Yeah, there was. Yeah. There was.
We got a vote of confidence this afternoon. Yeah,
good. That's good to hear. He will definitely be coaching against Calvin. I did not know that. Yeah, that's new information to me. little under the weather, boys.
Noted ACC expert Mike McDaniel doesn't know the late breaking news.
The last thing I saw was the Ollie Connolly $1 million tweet. And I was like, oh, okay. And I think the only reason I saw that is because you guys texted me it. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Wow. Okay, so we got a vote of confidence. That's good. Good to hear.
I think Jake Dickert, first of all, a few of the guys on this team from Wazoo, familiar with Oregon State, probably going to be excited to go play on the West Coast again. I think he's got this team playing hard too. Like, I think they are going to give a good effort. And I realize the travel and what it is. I saw they posted a video on their social media account today of the truck leaving the facility to drive all the way over there.
Yeah.
Just kind of making the point of it. It's like a 3-day drive or whatever it was for him.
Yeah.
Small number, I guess, Lamb with Wake. Like, I don't know if Oregon State is 0-12 bad. They do have a game against Lafayette coming up in a couple of weeks, or next week. They should get that one. They might beat Sam Houston. They'll have opportunities down the stretch here, but I think Wake is playing hard. I think they will be able to do enough. We'll have to see, by the way. We haven't really talked much about it, but Both Robbie Ashford and Damon Claiborne playing through injuries right now. Damon Claiborne played very little of that game on Saturday against the Hokies. We'll see if he's good to go here. I just think Oregon State's in a pretty bad place right now, and the Deeks are plucky and playing hard. So give me the Deeks to cover the small number here and win by at least 3. I think they'll be okay here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Wake. I'm not going to lock anything up here because I think the spread is pretty low. I think most of this is because Wake is going to play their second straight road game here, and they have to go across the country to do it. After a pretty competitive game with Virginia Tech last Saturday, now you got to go across the country, get up for a team that's not very good. So that gives me a little bit of pause. Would not shock me if Oregon State won this game outright. I do think Wake's a better team. I think they're better coached, obviously, with Dickert, and I think that's enough for me.
Yeah. We'll have to see kind of what the energy level is for Wake. Third game in a row off a bye, second road trip in a row, as you mentioned. So that's not easy necessarily, but again, Oregon State not in a great place. And I saw Wake today was practicing, and they had chainsaws blasting over the speakers. So I think the Deeks are ready for what Oregon State has in store for them.
Yeah, I think so too.
This might also be kind of a foolish pick, but give me the under here. Wake's defense has been playing pretty well. Oregon State has not really been playing in shootouts. I could see Wake's offense being a little bit sluggish, obviously, on the road trip and all that. So I could see this being a bit of a rock fight situation where Wake wins like 21-14 or something like that, like relatively low scoring.
I'd lean under here.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right, Wake and the under for the both of us. Anything else here, Mike, before we move on?
Nope, good.
Let's do it. Also at 3:30, I'm going to say it's on Peacock. You might have another name for it. The NC State Wolfpack.
On the cock.
On the road in South Bend, taking on the number 16 Notre Dame Fighting Irish. NC State, a 23.5-point road underdog here, total 60.5. Notre Dame started this year 0-2. And for the record, like, they had 2 losses by 4 points to a pair of teams that are now like top 10 teams,
top 5 even. Yeah, top 5.
And everyone wanted to leave them for dead. It's like, oh, Notre Dame's 0-2, they shouldn't be ranked. And I think sometimes we get a little bit, we overreact to things. Notre Dame now on the warpath, trying to prove a point every week and trying to get margin and find their way into the playoff, by hook or by crook. Not a great situation for NC State, I don't think, especially that defense. I am concerned about watching them try to tackle Jeremiah Love and CJ Carr and just everything that Notre Dame is going to be throwing at them this weekend. This has blowout potential. Things not going well in Raleigh either, by the way. As much as things are going poorly in Chapel Hill, it's not quite that, but it's not a pretty scene in Raleigh either.
Dave Doran couldn't be happier that Bill Belichick is throwing up all over himself. I'll tell you that. It's taking the heat off him a little bit.
Nice distraction.
Joey, this may shock you because I do enjoy watching Notre Dame football. This is going to be my first lock of the evening.
Uh-oh.
I think that NC State is going to have trouble tackling both Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price, who are 2 of the top 10 conservatively, 2 of the top 10 running backs in the country. Love is closer to 1 than 10, obviously, and Price would be the lead back almost anywhere other than Notre Dame. They're just really, really good. And Carr has been one of the best quarterbacks in the country this year. He's been outstanding, and he's starting to get a little more of that recognition because he's making like number 1 pick throws, like QB1 throws. The Irish passing game continues to come along. Notre Dame's defense continues to come along. They've looked really good in particular the last few weeks. We're laying them with the Irish here. This has got blowout written all over it. Give me Notre Dame.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
23.5.
Don't care. Saw it at 21.5. Wish I had it that number. 23.5. Does not matter.
Yeah. I'm kind of with you that I want to think that NC State's offense is plucky enough to kind of keep them in this game to some degree into the fourth quarter. And there's, enormous backdoor cover potential in a situation like this where, 23 and a half, like Notre Dame can have the backups in and still have CJ Bailey trying to huck that thing down the field at them. Entirely possible. I guess on that principle, I will take NC State and basically just be like praying for a backdoor cover of 23 and a half. I don't see this being all that close. Like, I don't think NC State's in a place where they need to be to go threaten a Notre Dame program at this point. But what I will tell you is I almost can't see this game playing out in a way that is particularly low scoring. Like, Notre Dame is going to get theirs and might get most of the way to 60 and a half by themselves with the way that Raleigh, things have been going on defense in Raleigh. I actually really like the over here. Over 60 and a half. Producer Scott, can we go ahead and lock that up?
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
I think this gets really pointsy.
Yeah.
Again, Notre Dame has been trying to prove a point, and they are not going to call off the dogs anytime early. So
yeah,
I think Notre Dame gets into the 40s. I think NC State capable of putting up 17-21 here, especially with some late scoring. So give me the over for sure.
Yeah. By the way, Notre Dame team totals have been printing, and if you're a little bit afraid of the game total, by the way, you can get this at 22.5 on FanDuel. I just feel like putting that out there now that I'm looking at it. Notre Dame team total, by the way, is set at 41.5. So,
what you just being lazy over here, going to the site to find the team total and not trying to make it up in your head on the show?
It went so well earlier with the implied score thing. I figured we should go to a reputable source, if you will.
Noted professional podcast. This one is.
I much prefer your method, though. It's a lot funnier.
Just
for what it's worth.
Watching me stumble over my own words for 2 minutes and just make good use of everyone's time.
Yeah.
All right, Notre Dame locked up for Mike. I've got the over locked up. I've got NC State in the points, but I don't feel comfortable with that spread necessarily. It's such a big number for Notre Dame to have to cover.
I know I just locked up the Irish, but like with my money, the Notre Dame team total is, I think, the safer play, both from a total spread and from a team total or game total. Man, I'm having a stroke. From a game total standpoint and from a spread standpoint, I think I'd just rather take the Notre Dame team total. That's what I was trying to say. Sorry.
That's fair.
Long day.
Thoughts on the total?
Over. I mean, yeah, it's a good pick. I like it.
Fair enough. All right. NC State for me. Notre Dame locked up for Mike. Over locked up for me. Over for Mike as well.
Well, you guys said all the stuff. Notre Dame's going to kick the shit out of them. Over. Producers pick of the week. 60.5.
Beautiful. Double barrel on the
Notre Dame has to win every game for the rest of the season to make the playoff. They're out here trying to create style points. The 23.5 was a lot to put the producers pick of the week on. Not like that matters this season because we're terrible, but 60.5 I think is much more doable for the producers pick of the week. Goodness gracious,
taking turns having hell yeah.
No, that's just the 3 beers talking. So we're on the Irish, and to put up most of that 60.5 because NC State is dreadful. So I think Notre Dame can win this game 51-10, and that would get there. So
you know what, guys? I've been on this podcast for a long time. We've done this 10 years. Every once in a while, you make a pick and you lock something up, and you're like, you know what? I could be talking to something different. I'm going to change my pick. I'm just going to take the game over. Screw the spread. let's go game over 60.5. Let's lock that up instead, Scott.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Game total.
You listen.
22.
Game total. Game total.
20-2.
I was gonna say 17-3. It's like, okay, great. We didn't get anywhere that we needed to. Thank you, Wilson Core. Triple barrel over. You're right. Let's just
Triple
do that.
barrel lock.
I think it's safer. I was talking myself into it with a team total pick. I'm just gonna join you guys. Let's do it. I think this is the first triple barrel lock in the history of the show as well.
It might be.
We'll all go down together.
I like it.
Look forward to a
this is
27-10 game.
Yeah, I think this is safer. I jumped the gun on the spread a little bit. We'll live and we learn. Let's move on.
Yeah, we need a sound effect for that. Okay, so we're not locking up Notre Dame. We are locking up the total then.
No, I like Notre Dame team total over 41.5. I like the total over 60.5. And if you ask for a lean on the spread, give me the Irish. That's where we're going.
Gotcha. All right.
So complicated.
Has to be.
Noted.
Couldn't be easy.
All right. Triple barrel lock on over 60.5 in this game. We will see if NC State's defense shows up. We'll find out. One last ACC game of the week. We'll see, what else we talk about after that. 7:30 on the ACC network. The Clemson Tigers on the road in Chestnut Hill taking on the Boston College Eagles. Tigers a 13.5 point road favorite. Totals 54.5. Mike, this is a rivalry game. I don't know if you knew this. They play for the O'Rourke McFadden Trophy. Yeah,
no,
that's a fact.
Okay, thank you.
That trophy has been quite comfortable in Clemson. Boston College has not won this game since 2010. That is the only time they have beaten Dabo Swinney in this game.
Oh my God, it's been a while.
Well, but the thing is that what I didn't realize when I was researching this a little bit, they haven't played this game since 2022. Like, this was an annual Atlantic Division kind of situation. And then I guess when we expanded and changed up the scheduling and all that, like, we now haven't played this game in 3 years, basically. So for what that's worth, can I interest you in Boston College plus the 13.5 at home here?
No. Clemson. We're laying them with the Tigers. Lock it up.
Oh!
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
Clemson's going to do this thing, guys, right? With last week against Carolina and this week against Boston College, where they're going to fool everybody into thinking they have the offense figured out. Really, it's just the two defenses they're playing are total ass. Okay? That's where we're at. BC is quitting. Like, this team, we went through the schedule on the recap last week. There might not be another win on the schedule. It's going to be scary in Chestnut Hill. They're not going to win this game. I know Clemson has had a rough start to the year. They obviously looked really good last week against a North Carolina team that might be quitting themselves. They're playing another team that's quitting. I get it's at home. It's on ACC Network. It's a night game. There's all the reason in the world for BC to get up for this game. Don't see it. Don't see it.
Yeah.
Lonergan throws too many stupid interceptions. Clemson's defense starting to play a little bit better. Yeah, give me the Tigers here. I think they roll. Clemson by 17-ish.
I think I mentioned this on the recap, but again, a little birdie tells me that things behind the scenes in Chestnut Hill not going fantastic. I don't, and obviously it's tough when you're 1-4. And we mentioned that they've been unlucky, right? These are two of the unluckiest programs in the country so far this year per SP Plus. But you talk about a team that's 1-4, and things aren't going great behind the scenes in terms of how much do people like each other and want to play for each other, and are they all inspired and really feeling the team culture and like all that stuff. That's not a good place to feel like they're going to dig themselves out. And I think you really saw it last week, giving up 31 points to a Pitt offense with a freshman quarterback in the first half. Not a great scene. Not a great scene. Mike, I'm with you. Let's lock up Clemson minus the 13.5.
There we go.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
Let's go down
What's
together.
a triple
shall we?
barrel lock if not backed up with a double barrel lock?
That's right. Scott, you want to join us?
Nope.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair play.
Producer's other pick of the week.
Nope.
Yeah, I think that Clemson might roll here, and you're exactly what you said, Mike. Is this Boston College defense not very good? Might be in the process of quitting. We have to all look at each other and agree that we're not going to come out of this game saying, "Hey, has Clemson figured it out on offense?" Because whatever happens here, I don't necessarily think that they have. They're going to play SMU next week. I don't know how good that defense is.
Yeah.
Clemson might go on a bit of a run here, but in any case, I think it's probably related to the quality of defenses that they're playing, is basically what I'm saying here. So, yeah, do I think that Tom Allen and that Clemson defense can fool Dylan Lonergan a couple times or whoever Boston College is going to run out there at quarterback? Yeah. Yeah, I do. Clemson minus 13.5 in Chestnut Hill. I like it.
Yep.
I'm going to say under 54.5. But I don't feel confident in that at all. I would not be playing the total here. I could see any number of outcomes.
Yeah. Clemson rolling does not correspond them to scoring 40 points. I mean, this could be 34-13 or something.
Right. Exactly.
So
fair enough. Under for you then as well?
Yeah. Under.
Yeah, why not? All right. Anything else in that game, Mike?
No, we are good.
That's all our ACC action this week. You want to recap some locks here real quick?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, this is pretty quick. We both have Clemson minus the 13.5 against Boston College. We all three, including the producer's pick of the week, have over 60.5 in NC State and Notre Dame. And while we're here, just for the hell of it, let's lock up Virginia Tech plus the 14.5 in the Techmo Bowl.
Lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
If Georgia Tech's going to blow someone out, that's going to be a little bit new. So
okay.
I will play the odds there and take the Hokies to keep this one at least a little bit close. So with that said, Clemson minus 13.5 for both of us, over 60.5 NC State and Notre Dame for all of us, and Virginia Tech plus the 14.5 for me. All right. Anything else before we get out of here and go watch some games?
Oh. I don't care. I'm Sickos.
Sickos picks of the week. As mentioned, producer Scott been in the lab, in the kitchen, trying to earn a Michelin star.
Yes, sir.
Last week, mixed bag for us. Mike, you went 1-1. You had 2 picks of the week. You had San Diego State team total under 23.5 against Colorado State.
That was very wrong.
Yeah. And then you had Charlotte fourth quarter plus 6.5 against South Florida.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, because
Dude, I was following that one so closely.
Charlotte hit a pair of 2-point conversions in the fourth quarter. Otherwise, that would not have gone your way.
I gotta say, South Florida scored for no reason at the end of the game.
Yeah,
it was 3 minutes or less than 2 minutes left, and they ran it into the end zone to end up winning the fourth quarter. And the only reason I know this is because I actually was a really degenerate. Oh, hold on, let me hit this.
I know when that hotline bling.
And I actually bet the UNC Charlotte fourth quarter money line, and I was locked into it. And they freaking ran it in with 2 minutes left for no reason. They could have needed out and just won the game, and they were already winning. Yeah, so that's
Beautiful.
how I know that so closely.
Beautiful.
I had Old Dominion first half minus 10.5. They were up 31-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
So
They cruised.
I was going to say, there is an Old Dominion well, by the way, that I like going to, and there's also a Coastal Carolina well that I like going to, and that everything just really matched up nicely. And then finally, producer Scott, Miami, Ohio, and Northern Illinois under 38.5.
39 points. Fucking sorry, excuse my language. They kicked a field goal with 3 minutes left to send it over. And honestly, I can't be that angry because they did take a 1-possession game to a 2-possession game. So I get why they did it, but I was personally upset.
Mike's 3-5 in the year. I'm 3-1, and Scott 1-3 so far on Sickos picks of the week. Scott, you want to lead us off?
Oh, do I? Let's travel on over to the Big Ten, gentlemen. We're going to be visiting the wonderful metropolis of Madison, Wisconsin this weekend.
They're so bad.
Yes.
They are so bad.
We have the Iowa Hawkeyes traveling to Madison to take on the Badgers. The total is 35.5. It opened at 37.5.
Punts.
You know what that tells me?
Punts.
You know what that tells me? There's some value on that 36 number. We're going over 35.5.
Oh.
Iowa and Wisconsin.
How are you betting over in an Iowa-Wisconsin game?
We are going to get there. We are going to get there. It's going to be 21-17, and we are going to get there, gentlemen. And if we don't get there, well, that's just damned if I do, you damned if I don't. Over 35.5.
I know when that hotline bling.
Scott, call a hotline right now. Right now.
That's crazy. Crazy work. Hope it works out for you. Is that all you got? You got another one?
That's it for this week.
All right, I got 2 this week.
Uh-oh.
Roll up the score, Navy. Anchors away. Sail Navy down the field and sink the Army gray. Navy's playing Temple in Philadelphia this week. Little road game.
The Wink?
There you go. Yeah, we'll take it.
That counts as an owl, right?
Yeah, I think so. They're 9.5 point favorites.
Sounds like
Navy
an
is.
owl.
Hoot hoot.
Red-tailed hawk from whoever said that last year.
That was wild when that surfaced in the chat. Navy's a 9.5 point favorite. I'm actually not betting anything Navy related in this game. Temple's really bad. Give me Temple team total under 21.5. It's my first bet.
Under 21.5.
Yeah, we're doing a team total there.
Careful.
Joey,
Temple's been playing hard.
You mentioned the they have been, but
You're gonna ignore that.
I'm gonna just fine. And then Joey, one other thing you mentioned earlier, a well that you've been going to lately. You mentioned Old Dominion, but there's another well that you mentioned that's Coastal Carolina.
Oh, you're gonna steal this out from in front of me.
God, well, I mean, this could be our third lock together tonight if you'd like. I'm going UL Monroe -2.5 at Coastal. Give me the Warhawks.
Oh man, I had my eye on that one. That was exactly where I was going to go. Was laying the 2.5.
Why can't we lock up 3 different games together this evening? You have a 4th in the Techmo Bowl.
You know what? Why not? Let's do it. I will also go to Conway and lay 2.5 with the Warhawks, taking on the Chanticleers, who I think they've won. Oh, they're 2-3, but they beat Charleston Southern 13-0, and then they out of nowhere they went into Mobile and beat South Alabama. I don't know how that happened, but is that Mobile? Where is that? That's somewhere. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, Chanticleer is not good.
Bad.
So give me Monroe is also not great, but like has a little bit of a pulse and has made some competitive outings. So yeah, I think they can go in and get a win there. Other one I was looking at, I don't, and this is it's a G5 situation. I don't know how sick it is. Can we go to the blue turf?
Sure.
Sure.
Where the Boise State Broncos are coming home, licking their wounds after getting beat up for 4 quarters by Notre Dame last week. And they've got a plucky New Mexico team coming in.
I looked at this one too, Joey.
Boise laying 16.5 in this spot. Give me the Lobos catching 16 in a hook to keep that one within the number. I think they at least keep that close. Maybe make it a little bit uncomfortable for Boise State.
Hell yeah.
There we go. Sickos picks of the week.
Wait. I might have another one. I lied. So I don't know if you gentlemen know this, but Conference USA is doing their own flavor of Maction this year. They're calling it Weekday CUSA or CUSA Weekday, some variation of that. They're doing it until November when Maction starts. So if you weren't aware, we had 2 games tonight. Missouri State beat Middle Tennessee 22-20. Liberty beat UTEP 19-8. What a score. But tomorrow night, we've got Louisiana Tech heading down to Kennesaw State in Georgia. Kennesaw State is a home dog at 5.5 points. I want Kennesaw State as our home dog of the week.
Hey.
5.5. Go shop at Home Field. Use code GOACC24, I believe is the code. With our barking dogs in the background. Go get your merch because these sickos didn't remember to do the ad read, so I'm doing it for them.
Thank you, Scott.
Use the code. Go get your hats. Go get your quarter zips, or not quarter zips. Go get your hoodies. Go get your t-shirts. Go get your long sleeve shirts. Go get your, what do they have? The bomber jackets, the nice pullovers, the retro pullovers. Go get it all. They all have it over there at Home Field. Only Stanford is not included in the selection from the ACC schools. Why? Because they're weird over there at Stanford. It's a tree, for God's sake. So, tree don't lie. Home Field, home dog of the week. Kennesaw State in the Sickos picks of the week.
By the way, that Section 103 drop of Kennesaw State, there are some hats, buddy. They got a Hootie Hoo hat that it's phenomenal. If I were a Kennesaw State grad, I would be all over everything they got in there. So go check them out.
Beauty.
All right, Sickos picks of the week. Mike has Temple team total under 21.5 against Navy. Mike and I both have Louisiana Monroe minus 2.5 in Conway taking on the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. I've got New Mexico plus 16.5 at Boise State. Scott has Iowa, Wisconsin over 35.5 and Kennesaw State plus the 5.5 against Louisiana Tech for your Sickos picks of the week.
I don't care. I'm a sicko.
There it is. Fun show, Mike. Anything else before we work on getting out of here and go watch some Week 7 games, including the Techmo Bowl?
Enjoyed it. I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah, it's late. It's time. Shout out to the people in the chat who stayed up late with us. Appreciate that over at youtube.com/@the-ACC Football Podcast. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, hit the like button. We would really appreciate that. That helps us and helps you to find out when we're going to go live next if you do all those things. We are on Twitter at FTRS Joey, at Mike McDaniel SI, at Sicko of the Week, and at BC Podcast ACC. Send us an email, basketballconferencepodcast@gmail.com.
Nailed it.
Thanks. Spotify, Apple, Amazon, wherever you go find your podcast, go find us there. Anything else, Mike, before we get out of here and go watch some games?
Hope everybody enjoyed Joey's math and my stirring rendition of Anchors Away this evening.
Saturday Night Live recap? Maybe.
I'll do my best.
I will not be present, but
it's fair.
Thank you all.
There you go. Hit the bell icon. You'll find out if we're going to go live or not Saturday night. Otherwise, it might be Sunday, as it has been for a lot of the season. So whenever it is, we will see you then.
You guys will all still show up, so can't pretend to be upset. They'll all be there.
There you go. All right. For that guy, Mr. Mike McDaniel, for that guy, Mr. Producer Scott, I am Joey Weaver. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll talk to you again very, very soon. Until then, go Jackets, enjoy the games, and go ACC.
Shout out to the chat.